In this video I'm going to show that how we are going to integrate the Google login and through Firebase, and now we are going to create a new activity in the UI. I'm going to put the splash activity also in the UI. I'm going to create a package with name of splash and then put this activity in splash package. So now my next UI is package login. So I'm going to give a package name login and create a new activity called, sorry, the Java, not the Java class but the Kotlin class. And now I'm going to write down the login activity here, and it's a class. So login activity, as always, I'm going to extend it from my base activity class. And now what I'm going to do is first method I will create on create method, override on create method, and the next thing I have to integrate any library or something. So these are the page authentication with Facebook login on Android and authenticating using Google sign-in in Android. So we are going to follow this step, but before that we are going to create a view for that. Set content view dot layout dot activities login. So I'm going to press Alt Enter and then create a layout resource file. Now this is linear layout. So now I'm dividing my screen into two parts. As you can see in our application, we have two parts of login. I'm going to log out this first, and yes, so you can see the white area and the blue area. So I'm going to divide this in two areas. One is white and other one is bluish. So it's not white, it's a little bit a grayish color. So I'm going to give two linear layouts to the parent layout. One, I'm going to give 0 dp height because I'm going to use weight here. I'm going to give weight around 0.65, and the orientation also of this layout is vertical, as same as above. And the other one, the whole screen is 1, so I'm dividing 1 into 2. So one I'm giving 0.65 and the remaining I'm going to give to the another. So I'm giving 0.35 to that one. So you can see two divided screens. So I'm giving a little light background color. So I'm giving another colors like the color light gray, so it will not look white. So I'm going to white color, so its code is F8 F9 F9. So it's a bit light gray, so I'm giving the light gray here. As you can see, now bluish in the background. In the below one, primary dark, which is our app color. So now what I'm going to do is OLX India. So I'm going to reuse my splash text because it's similar like this one. So I'm going to just copy that, and what I am going to do is just change the color because it not look white on white. So I'm going to give primary dark here and primary dark here. So OLX India. Now needed the two buttons here, and so I'm going to give two buttons with the images. So I'm going to give linear layout here, and I'm giving the gravity to the items, so the center but on the top. So here is I'm going to give linear layout to the parent linear layout, and width would be around the button, so I'm giving 280 dp. So extract dimension records dp280 dp280. So I'm press enter and then press wrap content. So linear layout is here, so I'm giving orientation horizontal, image view for the image view in the background, so of white color. So background would be around white. And now what I needed, there's a wrap content file, so I need some of the margin from top to the button, and it will look 24 dp, so you can see the button is appearing. So I'm giving the image view of my Google image and giving 48 dp. To the image and 48 dp to the image. So closing tag, source file is Google icon. I just placed all the icons in my dribble folder. You can see you just copy an image and paste into it, and just Control C and Control V and then press OK, so it will copy all the images here. So you can see the Google image and the button is showing now. So I'm giving a little bit padding of 4 dp is enough, so I'm giving 4 dp padding to the Google button, and I need to add a text here. So I'm going to text view here, do the text view here. So wrap content or something there. So now the text is continue with Google, so I'm going to write down continue with Google, so giving the text color primary dark and little bit, so it will look this way. I can also use a button here, so I have not to give the look at the button how it looks. Yeah, it looks not bad, so I just change the background, because text view I have to give the text appearance, height, maybe the font, so button will automatically adjust it. So I will give it the background as same, continue with Google, so you can see it's been look good. So continue with Google, yeah, it's look good. Then text view, no need to add the text size because they have on it. So I have just Control C and Control V and just change the Facebook icon and going to continue with Facebook, not continue with Google. So continue with FB, continue with Facebook. So you can see both of the texts. Now continue with Google, continue with Facebook. I'm going to give this linear layouts and ID for making them clickable, LL Google and LL Facebook. So it's been short form of linear layout, LL Facebook. So both of them are visible. Now I have to just write down some text here in the bottom according to terms, text view, wrap content, and text color white because it's a blue. I think at Android color white, I have to give it outside that. Yeah, so text color white, and the text is that if you are continue by accepting, so I am giving the terms here, string terms, alt plus enter. If you are accepting OLX terms and conditions and privacy policy. So you can see the text, and now I need to break them, and so accepting /n and give it the text alignment to center. Yeah, now look good, and gravity to the bottom, not maybe bottom. It's layout gravity. I have to put the gravity here. Yeah, so it's been centered, but I need to give some margin from bottom so it won't go bad. So I'm going to give margin from 8, or it is not there, so I'm going to create ADP. So it will look good now. So my login activity design is done, so nothing too else to do. So I'm going back to splash activity, and because I have to navigate to the login activity from there, so after getting the city name, I'm just going to navigate here, that I get a city name here, location here. So I'm going to start activity intent, and this at splash activity dot login activity dot class. So after getting location, I will also going to use share preference for storing the values, because I'm going to store the city name in the share preference. So I will tell you later when I done the Facebook and Google login for saving the credentials of Facebook and Google. So now I'm going to run the app to see the design. So but before that I need to register this, alt plus enter to the manifest, so it will not crash. So I will run that. So it's been launched, and you can see our OLX application login screen. So there is toolbar, so I am going to do the same. I'm going to remove that action bar from my activity, login activity, and going to restart the app. So So service running, getting my city name, and after that you can see the login. So now I'm going to continue with Google. Before integrating Google login, we are going to add one code here, that on destroy I'm going to remove that location callback, because this location callback runs even the activity dies. So I'm going to remove that from fuse location client, remove location updates from location callback. So it will remove the callback after this activity destroys, so it will not call this method again and again. So that's it. Now we are going to check that how we are going to implement the Google sign-in on Android. So they are saying that basically the more detailed Firebase documentation is, that no one is providing that clear documentation. So I love how they represent their tutorials and everything. So Firebase is very simple in putting the tutorials. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in my app.build.gradle. So the Firebase sign in. So sign in, and then I'm going to click on sync now. It's saying after that you have to go to Firebase console, and I'm going to navigate to Google. So here is the Firebase console. First of all, what I'm going to do is, there is a OLX clone. So which is my already. So now I'm going to create a new project here. Enter new project name. I'm going to type OLX application, and then click on continue. I do not need any analytics now. So now project is ready, so I'm going to click on continue, and what I'm going to do is Android project, and going to give the package name. This is not a package name, this is a class package name. Go to the manifest and copy from that, copy, paste it. App nickname is OLX app, and SHA-1 fingerprint, this is optional, no need to fill that. If I fill that, it will run only on one system, so I do not do that. So I'm going to download this file, open this file, copy this file, and need to paste it in my project app here. So I just paste the JSON file here, and now my next is add Firebase Sdk. So I have to write this in my dependency, go back to Android, and then app, there's a root module, and I have to add this. Google is already there, so no need to do that, and just need to copy this plugin and going to paste it here, and going to click on sync now. So after sync, continue to console. So my app is ready to use. So now I can put the code here. So now I'm going to navigate to login activity, and what I'm going to do is implement the two-click listener here, and so click listeners, function of toClick listener ll facebook dot set on click listener this and ll Google click listener. So I'm going to press Alt Enter, implement the on click listener, and you can see the on click listener is here. So I'm going to write down here, and I'm going to use which condition in Kotlin. It's called when condition. So when p0 when p dot id, so safe check optional chaining, this is all called optional chaining question mark. So r dot id ll facebook, it will do this way, and here Facebook login code and this Google login code. So both are there. So before that I have to configure a Google sign in here. Configure Google sign in. So going to create a method here, create function, and then Google sign in. So Google sign in, so I'm going to write down this, copy this and paste it here. Google sign in option, Alt plus Enter, and Google sign in options, it's asking for web client ID, and build. So these are Google sign in options. So I am sign in options, I'm going to declare it globally, add initializer null. So Google sign in options, and what I'm going to do, take a Google sign in client here, Google sign in client with Google sign in option, Google sign in client, Google sign in client, and now in below that I'm going to write down Google sign in client dot client, and it's asking for context and Google sign in options. So I will give the Google sign in options here, and not null. So my Google sign in is initialization is ready. So now just need to implement the click here, and have to write down the Google sign in method here, sign in. So I'm going to create a function named Google sign in, and what I have to do is use this method, and this is the variable I'm going to take it, sign in, and sign in is 100, so it will on activity result go for, and I'm going to copy that on activity result and paste it here. So and press Alt plus Enter. So after that there is a one method, I'm going to create a tag also for this class logs. So login activity, tagging login activity dot this class dot java dot simple name. So this is my tag. I'm going to use Google sign in failed, Firebase authentication with Google. So this is the method which give me details of the user. So that's it, I think, what I needed here. So I'm going to create a method here with well credential, because this return me the details credentials here. So credentials, so Google auth provider auth provider dot get credential and account variable dot id token question mark null. So this will return me the data. So now what I'm going to do, after reading the data, I need a listener. I need to implement the listener here from Firebase auth, which is, and this is there. I have to create a Firebase auth above there and initialize in on create a property of authentication, and that's it. Now I can use listener with Firebase authentication dot sign in with credential dot add on complete listener and yeah, it will in it is object, so it return me data if it's success. If it is successful, then it will give me the data, else it will show a message toast dot make text this at splash with no need of any reference. This Google sign in failed, and I'm going to write that length dot long dot show. So if it's successful, then I have to save the data and move to the home activity. So let me print the email here and success message, so you can check on the screen that it is successful or not. Google logged in. So plus the mess it dot the account dot email, or yeah, email. I can get the email here. So the comma toast dot length long dot show. So now Google login is done. I'm going to run here, and I also added a finish method here. So if your code of found destroy is not calling, so add the finish method here, because some of may get problem while moving to that. Finish will destroy this activity clearly and remove from the instance, remove from the activity lifecycle. So finish and on destroy. So I'm going to run the app. So until app is running, so I'm going to do one thing here. I'm going to add a sign in method here, Google, and I'm going to enable it. Just go to authentication in Firebase, going to Google and enable Google sign in. So Google is enabled. I'm already going to give, oh sorry, Facebook need a app ID, so I will do it later. So now my app is launched, and now I'm going to tap on continue with Google. So I'm going to tap on Cool Sam 341 and Google logged in with coolsam341. You can see that Google login is working successfully. So that's it for the video. In the next video I'm going to show that how we are going to integrate with Facebook through Facebook developer account. Thank you.